testimony. So, Mrs. Espinoza.
My name is Phallynn Espinoza, and I want to start off by saying that I am a proud Latina, I am a proud Texan, but most importantly, I'm a proud American. I am speaking in support of SB 185. So, as an American, I am offended by those who are against this bill. By opposing this bill, the people we have elected into office to represent people like me and uphold the current laws of this great land are not doing what they were elected to do. They solemnly swore on the Bible to uphold the laws and the Constitution of the United States. By not passing this bill, they are ignoring the Constitution and choosing to not protect their constituents from illegal aliens. They instead are aiding illegal aliens, which is especially offensive. As a Texan, I am offended by Texans who are against this bill. Those fighting this bill are voluntarily going against what we as Texans stand for. As someone who was born and has lived in Texas my entire life, I can say this is not in line with what we as Texans believe in. Texans stand for what's right, and by not passing this bill, we are cowarding to those who do not have the same strong morals, values, but most importantly, respect, again, of our current laws. Thirdly, as a Latina, I'm offended by those who oppose this bill, those who claim to represent the Latin community and say they're fighting racism and for brown people. I spoke with Senator Garcia last week about this. I feel that these people are in fact facilitating the racism. By not supporting this bill, they are buying into the stereotypes that Latinos cannot follow the laws of this land, that Latinos are incapable of doing what is right. I am a law-abiding, tax-paying American who happens to be a Latina, and if I get pulled over and I am asked for identification, I provide it. If I get pulled over, I must have given the officer just cause. As someone who chooses to live in the greatest country in history, I have also chosen to follow the laws of this country. Ethnicity does not define your character. Ethnicity does not make you less capable of doing what is right. Today, I wear the shirt of border agent Javier Vega, who was killed by an illegal alien. He was brutally murdered in front of his family while on a family fishing trip by an illegal alien who had been deported 6 times before. The only question I can ask is, had the current laws been enforced, will Officer Vega be here today? And the one answer I can come to is yes. Had the current laws been enforced and had our elected officials done the job that they were elected to do, Officer Vega would still be here today. The color of Officer Vega's skin was not taken into consideration when the law was broken and he was brutally murdered. Breaking the law is blind to the color of one's skin. Therefore, enforcing the law should be too. By passing this bill, we are allowing our officers and public officials to enforce the law blind to the color of one's skin. Instead of raising the issue of race and separating people based on race, we should be talking about those who are champions for American culture and American laws. This is not an issue of race. By bringing up race, people are dividing the state and country at a time when we should be the most united. This is instead an issue of those who follow our current laws and who aren't willing to follow the current laws. This is an issue of being able to identify those who have committed a federal crime by coming here illegally or other crimes, and those of us who are citizens or came here legally, like many of my friends and family members. The issue at hand is one of basic practices. You follow the current laws or you do not. As Senator Garcia once again told me last week, she wants to help protect people with brown hair and brown eyes and who are driving while brown. As someone who, myself, drive brown every day and look brown, not as much as you, but look brown, every single day, I must agree and extend her comments to include all legal citizens of the state and country. I am willing to be held up for a few extra minutes for a public servant to check my identification so that he or she can be sure that I am legal, have not committed any crimes, and who I say I am. I want him or her to help protect me as I'm driving while brown, and allowing them to follow the current laws and supporting SB 185 is how they'll do it. This is not about, once again, is race, and this also is not about Mexico. I know y'all brought it up several times. This is about Texans and Americans. We should be more concerned with what's going on here in Texas and with our legal citizens than what's going on in Mexico.
Members, questions of Ms. Espinoza?
I'll give you a comment, if I may.
Mr. Lucio.
If you could, allow us to have them so we can make it part of the record. I'll respond to it. We don't have time, but I do
No,
want
that's
to
fine.
respond to that at a later date before we vote the bill out.
Perfect.
Members, other questions?
Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Espinoza. The panel is dismissed. My administrative announcement, we will reconvene here in the committee room 30 minutes after adjournment from the floor. Thank you.